What's up guys, I'm randomfrankp, and today we're going to be reviewing the brand new Razer Cobra Pro wireless gaming mouse, or as I call it, the Razer Cobra. This mouse is very interesting, okay? So if you're in the market for a new gaming mouse, or perhaps you've been waiting for the Razer Viper Mini wireless to finally drop, this video is for you. So taking a look at it, the Cobra seems to be a combo of Razer's design language from the Viper series and the Basilisk by using the Viper shape still, but throwing on some extra RGB with these matte and glossy accents throughout like we saw on their Basilisk. But the Basilisk is ergo, this is clearly ambi. Then visually compared to Razer's other two ambi mice, you'll see it's nearly spot on in terms of dimensions to the current Razer Viper Mini Signature Edition, so it's on the smaller side versus the slightly larger V2 Pro. This will appease the Viper Mini Ultimate hopefuls, and then that hope will all fade away. But let's just take a step back for a second and talk physical features of the mouse. For a bit of a closer look, the texture on the Cobra Pro is a little bit more flat here, so I started to notice fingerprints after use versus on the Viper V2 Pro, for example, that had a more textured matte finish for better grip and feel in the hand. The Cobra also sports two DPI shifting buttons below the scroll wheel, and a dedicated profile switching button underneath the mouse, which is kind of odd personally. You know, it's not like this is an MMO mouse where different profiles require their own button on the fly in addition to the dedicated DPI buttons up top, but we also have a dedicated power button and a connection mode toggle underneath for switching between the Bluetooth mode, 2.4 GHz, or turning it off. Again, instead of having just one button do power and DPI like we've seen recently from Razer. Returning to this Cobra are the rubberized side grips. You have RGB on the scroll wheel with an RGB underglow running along the entire bottom backside of the mouse, giving it a cool visual aura on your desk, if you will. But since it's in your hand, 24/7, I just keep the chroma lighting static and at a very low brightness percentage to capitalize on battery life. Another feature to the Cobra Pro is the ability to dock up your mouse on Razer's magnetic charging dock. This is sold separately, unfortunately. You'd like that to be included with a Pro lineup mouse, And the dock is the ability to double as their hyperspeed, hyperpolling receiver for that seamless connection to pair to your PC. It's cool for sure, but again, it's not included and it's an extra $69.99. Now, interestingly, stock out of the box, the Cobra Pro wireless is 1000 Hz polling rate, but if you do pair it with the Pro dock, you can up it to 4K, and it's also compatible with Razer's hyperpolling wireless dongle, which is 4K as well. So again, you're still paying for more features later on if you do want to upgrade that. Now, due to the extra tech inside with the magnets in this spot, that does make it a bit back heavy versus what I've been used to on the V2 Pro, for example, which has an even weight distribution. And that was like the first thing I noticed when I held it was the heft towards the back end. Hey now. And speaking of which, here's where things start to go terribly wrong for Razer and us as consumers. This tips my scale at 76 grams, which is confusingly heavy given their last two releases with this ambi shape. The Viper V2 Pro was 58 grams and the Signature Edition was 49 grams. So why the jump nearly 20 to 30 grams heavier for a Pro mouse here? What makes this Pro? On paper, sure, the Gen 3 optical switches and their hyperspeed technology with the 30K Focus Pro sensor are Pro, but everything we've seen Razer do in the past with the Death Adder V3 Pro and the Viper V2 Pro by ditching RGB, ditching the unnecessary side grips, and removing the ability to dock up in an effort to make the mouse lighter, now just goes against every Pro argument they've made to bring all that back and yet still call this Pro. Are pros gonna use this over other mice out there in their own lineup or other mice from other companies? I highly doubt that. And that's just facts. So I ask you, viewers and Razer reps watching, who is this mouse for? It's not for the Viper V2 Pro crowd because it's way heavier. This isn't the Viper Mini Ultimate that we've been waiting for because again, it's still 76 grams and the OG Viper Mini was 61 grams. It's certainly not competing with the Ergo Death Adder V3 Pro or the Basilisk because it doesn't have features like the adjustable scroll wheel or the sniper button. So who is Razer making this mouse for? Between their old Diamondback, the Mamba series, the Naga, Orochi, Basilisk, Death Adder, Viper, did they really need to introduce a brand new Cobra product lineup when absolutely nobody was asking for this? It just doesn't make any sense to me. People want a true Razer Viper Mini Ultimate. And so far, we've gotten the Viper V2 Pro, which is a step in the right direction, then the Viper Mini Signature Edition, which was polarizing not only for its design, but its massive price tag. Then they now give us the Cobra Pro instead. Razer, a Viper Mini Wireless is all the people want, and I really hope this isn't their final answer. Like, it can't be, right? Because they could have just called this a Viper instead of creating a brand new whole product lineup. It just doesn't make sense to spend all this extra R&D on the Cobra when a true Razer Viper Mini Wireless is what the people have been asking for 3+ years now. And that's what bums me out, because this very easily could have been the Viper Mini Wireless. But instead, they brought back features that only upped the weight of the mouse, changed the name, and we still got blue balls. Now, I'll say, sure, using it was just fine. I had zero physical issues. There was no flaws to the mouse. Yeah, like I mentioned, it did tend to feel a bit back heavy just because due to that extra tech inside for the ability to have that, the wireless like charging dock and stuff. But the weight difference was just immediately noticeable. I like the size of it, but I'm used to a 50-60 gram mouse. So it's just bizarre jumping all the way back up to 76 grams after years of using lighter mice, really. But like I said, happy to report no physical issues with the mouse that would otherwise make this a deal breaker. I think Razer sort of took care of that on their own. So at the end of the day, the brand new Razer Cobra Pro Wireless is just a flat out unnecessary mouse with an identity crisis. It also retails for $130, which just makes no sense. Again, who is this mouse for? Now, real quick, last year when the Viper V2 Pro released, in my review, I was dead wrong. As a Viper Ultimate user for how many years, I was pissed off that they ditched the docking station and, the extra side buttons and still called it Pro while charging more. I was pissed off about it. I said it really wouldn't sell too well, but as we saw from the evolving mouse market over the last 16 to 18 months, I was wrong with that. But I will easily re-up that same argument in a case now where it makes complete sense, saying this mouse is not Pro, it's heavy, it's expensive, it's not what we want. So alright guys, that'll wrap it up for my review of the Razer Cobra Pro Wireless. Hope you all enjoyed. Regardless, if you still want to check it out, I'll put it listed for you in the description down below. If you appreciate this review and it helped you out, give this video a big thumbs up to show your support. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at randomfrankp. And last, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Hope you all enjoyed. Have a good day.